In this video, I'll show you how to finish lab 5. You need to finish the practice problems first, and then the goal of this lab is to practice using those blocks that operates on lists. So the first task asks you to create a block that takes a sentence as input and report a sentence with the words in the reverse order. So I'm going to show you how to do that first. So this is my block called a reverse sentence. I'm going to open it and show you how to implement it. So it's a reporter block, so I create a new block with the reporter as the type, and the input parameter is a sentence. A sentence is just a sentence is a list of words, but it's not as a single value. So it's basically a sequence of characters. And then with this sentence to list block, actually let's see what it does. It actually, if you right click on select help, it tells you what this block does exactly. So it converts a sentence into a list of words. So if the sentence is build your own blocks, and after you execute this block, you can get a list of words. Okay, so what my block does, it uses sentence to list block to convert that sentence into a list of words, which is a variable, a script variable I just defined previously in my block. So this is a script variable. This is the variable that only lives inside my block. And then you probably have used this before, a makeup variable in the variables category. This actually creates a variable that can be used across blocks, or can be seen by other sprites. Okay, so after that I get a list of words, and then I use this list block, this length of, to find out the length of the list, how many words I have in the list. So I use this for block and this variable to go from to actually iterate through this list, but I start with the length of the list, which happen to be the index of the last word in the list. Remember, the first word in the list has an index of 1, it's stored at location 1, and then the second word is stored at location 2, and so on and so forth. So the last word is stored at the location I, which is the length of the word, the list of words, and then I go from that to 1. So every time I look at a word, I can use this. Well, in each iteration, I can use this block item I of list of words to get a word at a particular location. So I start with the last word, and if you look at the way this block is structured, I use this join block to actually append this word to a sentence, to another thing, which is a variable I defined here called reverse sentence. So I set it to 0 or to empty, and then so in this loop, every time I look at a new word, in this list, starting from the last one, I add this new word to this reversed sentence. Well, I join that to that sentence and then update this sentence with the result of this join. So every time I make this reverse sentence one word longer, and then I also add a space here to delimit the words in the list. So actually this the green block, this join block takes a variable number of arguments or input parameters, so you can add one easily by click on the right arrow, or remove one easily by click on the left one. And then after this loop's done, I can report the reverse sentence, this variable, because by that time I should have the list of words reversed. Let's give it a try. So I have this reverse sentence block. It takes a parameter which is a sentence, and when it's executed, it will report the reversed sentence. The same sentence with the words in the reverse order. Okay, so it seems to work. Okay, let me show you another way to construct this block. Another way to do it is, well, let's go through the list in the normal order from the first element to the last one. So I have this, I'm going to do a repeat. So I'm going to repeat this length of times. Well, depends on how many words I have in the list. I'm going to repeat that number of times. And every time I'm going to actually look at each word in the normal order. So I'm going to use I, but actually I'm going to use a variable to store the location. I'm going to call it location. So here I define a new variable called location. I set it to 1 initially. So I want to start with the first word, and then in my block I'm going to use location, this variable, to find the word I need to get. But this time I'm going to actually do it differently. So I'm going to go through the list from the first in the normal order from the first word. So every time I look at a word, I'm gonna add it before the sentence, the result sentence. So even though I go through the list in this normal order from the first word to the last word, but because the way I added this new word to this reverse sentence, well, I'm gonna end up with a sentence with all the words in the reverse order, because I'll add the first word first. The next time I add the second word, it's gonna appear before the first word, and then when I add the third word, it's gonna be for the second word, so on and so forth. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, it doesn't work. So that's normal. That's why we need to be very careful to debug our code. So here's the problem, because I set location to 1, but I never changed that variable. So that's wrong. So at the end of each iteration, I need to increment it by 1, so that next time I'll get a new word from the list. Let's try it. Ta-da! It works. So somehow okay, the space is added to the wrong spot. I want to add that to between the words and the list. So I'm going to add it there. Let's try it again. Now it works.